Hi there, Pirate Zam here. First of all, regular Zam, Ginger Creek, can't be here for tonight's Tulsa King Season 2 Episode 5 Tilting Windmill review. But you got me. So let's talk about this episode. So we begin with Dwight's grandkids going to a new school. They haven't been inducted into the school yet, only a 10% chance of them getting in there. But the moment Dwight sees the school, he, being the old school grafting, grifting, hustling type of guy, he thinks this school is just too bizarre and too weird. And as somebody who likes to consider himself to be a liberal and a lefty, even I found this school very weird. I mean, I know this whole scene was to take the piss out of that particular ideology, but I can tell you this, that was definitely an exaggeration. But fair enough, it's a joke. It was funny. It was alright, and we moved on very quickly from that. Whether his grandkids go to that particular school or not, who knows, who fucking cares. It was just a quick scene, and it didn't really mean that much. But what did mean much during the course of this episode was seeing some of the other foundations in Dwight's empire. For instance, Mitch Keller, he's going to be a car salesman, and he's asking Donnie Shaw's, the person who will be selling his car showroom, to Mitch, how to fucking run the ropes. And there were some funny moments as well. Donnie Shaw saying that he's not a real cowboy, and Mitch basically saying, no kidding. Obviously, he's taking the piss. But yeah, those were some funny moments. But Mitch did learn a few tricks of the trade regarding what it means to be a car salesman. It was some good shit. Now, the guys in New York, Chicky and Vincent and the other guy, they're going to arrange a sit down with Dwight because, you know, things are getting a bit crazy and some things need to be put to bed regarding what's going to be happening in the future. But Vincent and the other guy, they know that Chicky killed his dad. You see, they believe that alcohol is a true serum, and for one brief moment, Chicky let out about his dad his legs kicking after he drowned him, not really mentioning the fact that he did drown him, but he just let something slip, and that was because he was, he had a bit too much to drink. It was very easy for Vincent and his other mate to put two and two together and realize that, yeah, Chicky killed his dad. Now, these guys admire Pete, Chicky's dad, and they're obviously not too happy about this, but they're going to be playing a game, that's for sure. And at the same time, they're still trying to act like they're on Chicky's side as they arrange a sit down with Bill and with Dwight for next week's episode of the Tulsa King, where it should be set in Atlanta, where they'll be having this sit down and hopefully come to some sort of end of their dispute. I don't think it will necessarily end, but it will be interesting to see what happens regarding that, because that's going to be next week. And Dwight does still have a liking for that lady who owns the horses and stuff like that. Carl Fresher, he's still on his case. Dwight doesn't like Carl. He takes the girl out for a fucking meal later on in this episode, but before that, he asks her about Carl. What do you know about him? And she tells him that, yeah, he's a bit weak, but he's always got somebody strong alongside him. In the past, it was Bill. Now he's got the triads. So he's got some sort of mafia connections and backup if he needs it. And we do see a moment between Carl and Dwight as well, as they bust each other's balls and so on. Armand is also lurking around too. He's not too happy with Tyson because Tyson's acting a bit too big for his boots as far as Armand's concerned, and Armand obviously has to pay up every week. And now Tyson's going to be the one collecting the checks, and Armand doesn't like that. He's basically telling Tyson that, you know what, once you get on Dwight's bad side, he's going to fuck you up. We'll see if that happens. There was also a good moment as well. I believe this is definitely foreshadowing a future episode where Dwight and Tyson are having ice cream. And Tyson admits that he's never killed anybody, even though he was not necessarily involved in the murder, but he definitely was involved in the cover-up of Bill's right-hand man when they killed him a couple of episodes ago. And as far as Dwight's concerned, he doesn't want Tyson to cross that line of being a murderer. In my opinion, Tyson will cross that line at some point. And I just know that's going to happen. This is foreshadowing. Tyson, without a doubt, this season will kill somebody. Somebody, obviously, who probably deserves it as far as the Dwight family hierarchy is concerned. But regardless, Dwight will do it. That's for sure. Tyson will do it. That's for sure. Now, the meat and potato of this episode was a big ruck at the windmill farm. You see, Carl, after his bickering with Dwight, decides to get some of these triad goons he's got working on his farm and send them over to the windmill farm, which is owned by Dwight, to smash up the place. Have you guys ever played Just Cause, where you smash up these equipment and all of this sort of stuff? The way they were pulling down these giant electrical grids and stuff like that kind of reminded me of Just Cause a little bit. You know what I mean. If you played the game and you watched this episode, you definitely know what I mean. Bodhi's there, but Bodhi's not a fighter. He gets his face punched in, and then one of Bodhi's other friends calls Dwight for backup because Dwight, Goody, Mitch, Bigfoot, Tyson, they all happen to be driving to the windmill farm. And once they find out shit's hit the fan, they end up speeding to the windmill farm. And then we get a real good, brawl moment between two factions. Carl's henchmen and Dwight's familia. It was great. They beat the fuck out of him. Now, I'm not even sure if you know, but the actor who plays Bigfoot, he's actually a former professional wrestler. And you saw that in play when he did a flying crossbody on one of the goons. It was great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Good stuff. Dwight's boys does end up beating the shit out of Carl's goons. Tyson, he shows an aggressive side to himself. And you can really tell with Dwight that he does see Tyson in some sort of father-son sort of capacity. He definitely has a paternal instinct towards Tyson, which is obviously why he doesn't want him to kill anyone. And he was so proud of Tyson, obviously, when he beat the shit out of that goon, with a little bit of help from Dwight. But regardless, sometimes that little bit of help and encouragement can lead someone onto better things, and that's probably what's happened to Tyson. A message was sent, a message was then delivered because of the comeback by the Familia. And now the ball is in Carl's court to see what he does. He does speak to Bill, who's chopping wood and cleaning his guns and stuff like that. And I have to say, Frank Grillo, the guy at 59, is absolutely fucking ripped to shreds. It is scary how good that guy fucking looks for his age. I'm jealous. Billy Gunn, eat your heart out. He's almost as old as you, mate. And my God, he is ripped to fucking shreds. Anyways, it looks like Bill and Carl are going to team up again for old time's sake because they have a mutual enemy. But don't forget, there's still that sit down. So we'll see how that pans out as well. Finally, our boy Dwight, he goes to dinner with that girl who owns the horses, whose name escapes me. And they have a nice meal together. And then they run up a tab on Carl Fresh's account, ordering the most expensive wine in the location and giving a bottle as well of it to just some random couple sitting at the bar. It was great stuff. Really good. And it ended with no real cliffhanger. It was like, okay, Dwight's won this round, which makes me worried that eventually Dwight's going to have a loss. And it's going to be interesting to see who in his group, would it be one of his contingents, one of his henchmen, would it be like a Mitch or a Tyson or a Bigfoot or something along those lines who gets killed? Maybe a family member like his sister. Heaven forbid it's his daughter or his grandchildren. Who knows? But something like that might happen in retaliation. So we'll see how that pans out. Obviously there's a sit down as well next week too. And I know that's not going to go smoothly. If you ever watch Mafia's movies and you watch sit downs, somebody's always pissed off. Always. Alright. This being a short episode, it was a good episode. Felt like there was more setup than anything, but that brawl near the end was very satisfying. I give it an 8 out of 10. good shit. Let me know what you think of this particular episode. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are the greatest channel of all motherfucking time. Take care now. Bye-bye.